Okay. Sorry, put it here so I can see you. All right. So can you see my screen? Mr. Onesmo, can you see my screen?
Yes, boss, I'm here. I can see you.
Thank you very much. So let me start. So I'm starting the ZWCAD Civil. Immediately the software starts, it launches the ZWCAD. And it looks like that. Let's look at the screen. We have the menu of the ZWCAD Civil, and below we have the standard menu of the ZWCAD drawing environment. Here on the bottom, we have a text editor, which allows us to edit coordinates. Just to understand the simplicity, allow me to do something. Let me take this down. Now, so this is a standard drawing environment, right? I can, if I want to draw a polyline, I can do the standard CAD environment that we know. I will start a new project. And I will place it somewhere on my C in the folder projects. And I will call it Demo 1. This is a folder. All the data that relates to Demo 1 will be stored here. Okay. And the next thing that I want to do, and this is just for you to get to know to the system and see how easy it is. I'm using the text editor here, and I'm entering a coordinate. Let's say coordinate number 1 with the easting of 1000 and the northern of 1000 and the elevation of 132. If I press refresh, if I add refresh, the point is here. It's a block created here. The same thing will go if I go to the next point. Point number 2, 50 on 50 on 101.76. You see, there's a second point here. And let's say there's another point sitting at 151 at 110.776, 102.88. And another one sitting on 900 or 59.6. This is a local coordinate system. 5.67, and this is the elevation. Okay, so this is my list. I refresh, I can see it here. Oh, this is the point at 900. Okay, it's my mistake. I wanted to put it here at 990. So what I can do, I can come and change here, 990, press refresh, and it's here. And the elevation, it's a mistake. It's not 103, it's 102.3. And I refresh, and I get 102.3. So what we saw actually is the interaction between this list, which sits here, and the drawing. I can, by the way, also use the pick here. I hope you can see it on the lower right. Pick somewhere in the drawing, say here, and there's the new coordinates. 1005, and these are the coordinates of this point. If I refresh, I will see it here. The system didn't know what to do, so it gave it an elevation of 0. So I just give it some kind of a reasonable elevation. Let's say it's 105. And refresh. So in short, what we saw is the interaction between this coordinate list and the list and the drawing. Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy with my list. Now I want to create a surface here from this point. I'm going to topography contours, and I'm telling the software, create a surface and give it a contours at each 0.25 meter, and apply. Here it is. This is the surface. This is a beam model. I hope you are familiar with the term. This is a beam model, a 3D model of the surface. If I do a change in the points list, let's say take this point, 1005, and change its coordinate to 104, and refresh, and update the beam. Okay, you see, it's changed. If I enter another point, let's say here, and give it another, okay, see what happened. Now when I pick the point, the system automatically knows that this is the 3D elevation because it's a beam. So immediately the software can ping the elevation at this location. So what I'll do, I'll take the existing elevation that the system extracted and change it to 2 meters below, and update the surface. You see, the surface changed. So this is just to show you the flexibility of how can we work with surfaces and coordinates list. In fact, if I want to do a section from this point to this point, this is the surface. All right. But of course, this is not a standard use case. This is just to get a taste of the software. So let's go to practical aspects. I will open another project, and I will call this project Demo 2. And this is Demo 2. Good. But this time around, I will not, of course, type in all the coordinates. I just read it from a text file. So I click here, and I have here a text file. And you see there's a long list of coordinates here below, which I have from my GPS, total station, or whatever. If I refresh now, the software will analyze all the coordinates and create the layer out of it, like it did before. So you can see the scroll bar here. It's a little bit longer. Of course, it's not only 4 or 5 points, thousands of points here. And I'm getting the same way I did before, but now for a much bigger area. Good. I can create the contours, but I want to show you another capability. You can create the surface. But in this case, I also have what we call break lines or disregular points or dis points. Depends on the country. Break lines are lines, usually 3D lines, that affect the surface. Usually they demarcate cliffs, sidewalks, and other elements which affect my surface. How do I do it? I go to topography lines. I can import it as a DWG or import it as a file. In this case, I will open a file. Here it is. And the software now will project these 3D lines on my area. All right, so you could see them. These are 3D lines. See, if I do this one, you see it's 3D. If I will now go and tell the software, create a surface, the software will take into consideration also these lines. And I will do, let's say, 0.5 meter, and I use another parameter, which calls maximum interpolation length of 80 meters. And I will apply. The system will now, okay, there was one error traced in the surface, but the system alerted that it succeeded to resolve, probably a point which is exceeding, I don't know, maybe in 0 or something like that. But it was not a problem for the software because the software continued. It just logged it, the issue. So here it is. Now I have the surface of the entire area. Let me take these lines just to arrange my things. I'll take these lines and make them light brown, like this. I will take the existing ground level and make it dark blue, say like this. And I will take the points and just freeze them. So, okay, this is my surface. I'm ready to start designing what I want to design here. Let me just save the project. And before I continue, anyone has a question? If anyone has a question, please, this is the time. Because if you have a question concerning this surface, let me know. Otherwise, I will continue and do some designs around here. So,
sorry, sure.
Yes, please.
Because we are dealing with the topo, maybe is there any option where I can input the topo data from the devices like RTK or Total Station Direct?
Direct, okay. Yeah. Who is talking, by the way, from where?
Onesmo from Tanzania.
Okay.
Advanced Engineering.
Yes. If you go to topography coordinates, if you go to topography coordinates and you open here at the open, it depends. There are several formats which we support. If it's a standard text file like I did, you don't need to do anything. But if it's specific, it depends on the device. We have from Leica, we have from Sokia, we have from Gern Fennel, from Trimble, NTS, from Topcon. So it depends on the device. Now, if you tried all of this and it still gives you a problem, what you need to do is to communicate with the support. I think Marina is here. And just send us the file, the raw file that you get from the Total Station or from the GPS. We have a look and advise you how to sort it out.
Okay, thanks. Noted.
More questions? More questions?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm from NetPlay, Ray Noel.
Okay.
So I'll just ask if this one is compatible if we're going to use the LISP, the LIPS.
Yes, of course.
So we can use the LISP.
Yes, of course.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
There's no content, nothing that contradicts LISP. It's fully supporting LISP.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Any other questions? In fact, if you, for your question, there are some Lisp here. You see, this was loaded as a Lisp in the background. So the software itself is written in .NET, but we're using some Lisps as well. So if you have your own Lisp, you can edit. More questions, please. No additional questions. Okay, not for now. Let me continue, please. What I'm going to do now, you see this brown, it looks like a path. I see even the contours. I think it's undressed, it's dressed path, but no asphalt here, somewhere here. So what I'll do, I will arrange one carriageway, let's say urban road going somewhere here. How do I do it? Let me open a new layer and I will call it, let's say, centerline. And I'm telling my software, this is my centerline. For now, it's a standard CAD layer. Yeah, you can do in your AutoCAD with the WCAD, it's the same. And I make it the current. And I'm standing from this to B junction, say here, going here, somewhere here, and from here all the way to this point. So this is my to be center line. But for now, it's just a polyline, a 2D polyline. So what I do, I want to create a beam of a road out of it. And of course, the first element is the horizontal alignment. So I'll go to the horizontal alignment. Here on the right, I'm selecting the polyline and pressing enter, and automatically it creates IP coordinates. You see here, IP coordinates, and convert this into a road. So you see what happened. The software, once I selected it, it's now becoming a beam module of a road with all the cross sections and the data on the IPs. So let me continue. First of all, I don't like this presentation, so I just change some things in the configuration and make it show like this. Let me update it. So instead of getting the cross sections like 0, 1, I will rather have them like this. All right. And also, of course, I want to make a radius here. Although you see the distance, it's 25 meters between cross sections and 17.91 meters to this IP. So let's say that the radius here is 30 meters, and the radius here is additional 50 meters. Remind you that it's a slow rural urban road. Okay. So immediately when I enter the 30 meter, here the software added all the relevant data and created the curve here. By the way, one thing that I want to do. Yeah, and this is the tangent point. But you see, I'm a little bit out of my path here. So let me move a little bit this IP. I'm using the move, taking the IP, and let's move it from here, let's say, to this location. And let's apply the change. Let's see. Sorry. Okay, so everything move accordingly, all the cross sections and everything moved accordingly. Let me do the same here to this IP. Move from here a little bit into the turn, apply again. Here it is. Okay, now I'm happy. This is what I want to design. This is my alignment. I'm happy with it. I'm saving it. Any questions so far? Do you have any questions so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Can you create a sample? This you have a cross section, right?
Yes.
Can you create in every cross section you have? Can you create a profile drawing?
Yes, of course, of course.
So this means, sir, this one is similar to Civil 3D of Autodesk.
Yes,
correct?
it's similar. It's a competitor to Civil 3D, of course.
Yes, sir. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Yes, of course, of course. In fact, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna continue with my road, because what I want to do now is to continue in design by designing the profile of the road, the vertical alignment. So if I go to roads, vertical alignment, because before I start the cross section, which you asked, I would have to start with the vertical alignment. And the system automatically creates another drawing. You see here, there's another drawing. It's called road ver. And if I have more, road ver 1, 2, depends on how many vertical alignment I have. But the drawing is here. So there's another one here. And there are some associated table, which were created here for the vertical alignment. And if I will press apply here, and zoom to extend, this is the profile. This is the profile. In this case, it used the default of scale of 100 to 1000. It creates its own datum by default. And all the data of the ground level was sampled here with the distance and also the horizontal alignment projection, the one curve and the second curve. One was to the right, to the left, and then to the right. Okay, so this is my existing road. Now, here you see there are some bumps. So let me start by designing. Here, I don't need to open a new layer because the system already created the layer for me. The name is VerEdit. And VerEdit is specifically designated for the designing of the profile. So what I'm going to do in this layer, I'm going to design my profile. I will start with object snap here. I will start with the existing ground level that, remember, this is the beginning of the road and enter the junction. And here I will smooth it somewhere, something like, let me remove this object snap, like say this. And also I will do something similar from here. You know what, let me start from here, it's okay. And remove this. Let's say like this. And another one, which will go like this. Okay, so this is my horizontal, my vertical alignment, my profile design. I will just fine tune it. So trim this one, this one, this, same goes. This one, this, sorry, this, and yeah, this is my road. But up to now, it's just set of polylines. So if I will apply, the system will tell me, okay, I'm about to use this polyline and convert it into a profile. Here it is. This is the new profile. This is the new profile of the road. In fact, you see, 23 per mil, which is the slope of the design, going here, and from here. Yeah. In fact, all the data was obtained here. You can see below in the table. I hope you can see it. Start from here until here, 131 meter. Go by 2.3%. You know what? Let me change the per mil to percent so it will be easier to understand. The display, I mean. So this is 2.3%. and 7.6% going down here. Yeah. But I also have to design the vertical curves. So let's say this is 25 meter each cross sections. So I would take I want from this point to this point, this is 50 plus, let's say 20 meter each side, 90 meter. So what I'll do, tell to the software, design with total length of vertical curve of 90 meter. Let's see. Okay, you see? I got my vertical curve, this one. No, sorry, this is the existing. This one. Now I want to do the same here. So also here I see it's smaller. Let's use services 25, 25. Let's say 60 meter. I think it will be good. Okay, it's also almost perfect. I want to change it a little bit to stretch it a little bit. So I take this grip and make it maybe like, no, too much, like this. Okay, let's see the change, apply. So, okay, it changed accordingly. Everything that I do here in the drawing automatically it either reflect in the table here below in the texture table or, oh, not or, also here in the data. So here I have the design data all along with the slopes, with the radius, everything was interactively updated. I'm happy with my profile. And in fact, if I will now go to the layout, the horizontal alignment, and update it, the data from the profile will be projected here automatically. All right? So all the elevations here, you can see them, they are being taken from the vertical alignment. Any questions so far before I continue? Guys, any questions? Please don't write, just unmute and talk because I cannot see your chat. No. Okay, I assume everything is clear.
With this cross, we can do a crossing like the
Can you explain?
just a minute. Okay, I follow. Just a minute.
Okay, no problem. Let me continue, and once you have the question, just bump in and it's okay. So I have the profile, and now what I want to do is to create a complete road with cross sections using a template. So I'll go to the roads cross sections. I'll go to the roads cross section. Now, and I'm telling the software, give me the list. So we know the list is 25 meter each cross section. In fact, this is the first section. Yes, please. Okay, so this is the first cross section, 25, 50, 75, 100, the tangent here. So these are the cross sections. So I have them here in this list, you see, in the right. Now I'm telling the software, go 20 meters to the left, 20 meters to the right in each cross section and give me the existing ground level, each 25 meters. So this is the cross section of the first section. This is the cross section of the second section. In fact, what the software did, it went, for example, here, 20 meters to the left, 20 meters to the right, and provide a section all along the road. So for example, let's look at the row, this section 225 and see what this is all about. Let's go to 225. You see, this is what we see in the on the right side. There's a small, I don't know what is it, it's small hill or whatever. I hope you follow. So this is the existing, but now I want to design. So what I'm doing, I'm using the first section to design my template and then later on to project it to the rest of the road. So I can design using this table my own section template, or I can use existing template. Let me use an existing template. I will go to documents and to the software and to the templates and to different type. Let's go to a simple local road with 2 lanes and a sidewalk. Simple one. Here it is. This is the typical section. It's 3.6 meters to the left, 3.6 meters to the right, going with 2% on the asphalt carriageway. And then with a 15 cm sidewalk, curbing stone and sidewalk. Also, there is a total thickness of the structure of 0.5 meter. You can see the data here. Okay. So this is my section. And too much data, so let's change the display the way I like it. Okay, now it's better for me. But okay, in this case, the slope, I want to change it to 2.5%. I want to change the template. So I'm going here, and instead of, this is the asphalt. So I'm changing it 2.5 and 2.5. I'm doing the same for the subgrade. Let's see, let's apply the change. Okay, this is the template, 2 for 5. It's okay for me now, I'm happy. This is okay for me. This one to change, okay. But one thing that I've noticed is, okay, so this is my section. Let's say that on the left side, let's look at the layout. On the left side here, here, on this, I'm just ending the road with a straight either retaining wall or some land development, which I will do here. On the right, I want to create a drainage. Although I have maybe a collective drain, which I'll have to do here, but here I want to do a protective drainage. Small ditch. So here, the closure is okay, is acceptable, because here I'll do land development. But here, on the right, I want to create a ditch. How do I do it? First of all, I will tell the software, open up the subgrade with 1 to 1. This is the slope which I want to see. So you see, I changed the slope to be 1 to 1 until it stick the ground. But this is not enough, because what will happen now, all the water will go from here to the sidewalk. So I want to create some kind of protective ditch here. So I'm changing to right ditch. And I'm saying, telling the software, the left embankment of the ditch will be 1 to 1. The right embankment of the ditch will go 1 to 1. The bottom of the ditch will be 0.5 meter. And the depth of the ditch will be 0.5 meter as well. If I press apply, this is what I'll get. So I defined 1 to 1, 1 to 1, 0.5, and 0.5 depth. Okay, so this is my typical cross section. This is the one that I want to use. Now I'm taking it, copy it, go to the last section and paste it. So this is how it looks in the last section, but still the rest of the sections are empty. So I'll tell the software do interpolation or rebuilding. So the software now will go to each section and build it, but it did it without the ditch. So here it's a big problem. So I'm going to the first section again, go into the ditch and project this same ditch all over the road. And do this interpolation again. So now you see the software now created a side ditch all along. You can see it in all my sections. Good. I'm almost done. Wow, I want to create a layout. Let's wait. Here it is. This is my design projected on the layout. So the software took my cross sections with the layout, of course, with the data from the vertical alignment, and created this road. This is the max point, and all along with the curves and everything. And this is the ditch, bottom of the ditch. And this is the flow direction. Let's change it so we see how the water goes. Okay, so this is the flow direction. Okay, so I've designed my road. In fact, if I go now to the vertical alignment, the software will automatically project the ditch invert level, because this is what I asked, it's marked here. So what you see here is the right ditch, the invert level of the right ditch. The data was also added here. What I can do else is now going to cross sections again and do some additional things. First of all, I want to create sheets with all the cross sections at 1 to 100 to 1 to 100 on an A0 paper. So software will go to the module space and create sheets. In this case, 2 sheets. See, this is one. You know what? Let's change it a little bit. Sorry. And like this. Okay, so you see there are 2 sheets here. Of course, I can change the logo to what I want. So this is the first sheet, this is the second sheet. I see the template doesn't have colors here, so let's change it a little bit. Let's use this one. And the ground will be green. Of course, I can dictate this in my template, but it was not done here. Okay, and the top will be, top of the structure will be, let's say, red, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these are my cross sections are ready to be printed. What I can also do, I go to the Earthworks and get the volumes. Get the volumes at each cross section. So what you see here, the volume table, the geometry without stripping, wrote down each section, the volume of each section, and the total cut here is 1,664 cubic meter. There's a small fill of 84 cubic meter. In fact, I can even send it to Excel. So maybe I can do some additional calculation with it.
Sir, excuse me. Can I interrupt?
Yes, please.
Regarding your cross section, can we incorporate the utilities, other utilities?
Yes.
I know you're doing the profile for the road. We can use, we can incorporate, we can insert the utilities.
Yes, let's do it together now. It's a good question.
Yes.
So the question
Yes.
was, I have some utilities. Let's say, yes, sewage pipeline. Is that correct? This is what you're talking about?
Correct, sir. Correct.
A sewage pipeline goes here somewhere, and I want to incorporate it here.
Yes, sir.
So let's design a sewage pipeline. It's a good idea. Why not? So what I'm going to do now is to design a sewage pipeline that goes along here. We'll open another layer, and I will call this layer sewage. Sorry. Oh. What happened? Sewage. And I'll make this layer the current. And make it, let's say, light red like this. And my sewage pipeline starts, let's say, very close here. Again, as a polyline, some here from the junction, go along the road, let's say here, and each vertex will be a manhole. So another one here and another one here. And from here, it's straight to the end, but of course, I will have to create manholes, let's say, each 40 meter for each plot that will come. We said we are doing land development to the left. So let's say 40 meter, 40 meter, 40 meter, 40 meter, and another one here. This is the, and another one here in the junction. Good. So this is my sewage pipeline. For now, it's not a sewage pipeline, right? It's just a polyline, but we want to convert it into a beam of a pipeline. So we go to pipelines. We go to pipelines list, and we say this is one, it's a sewage. It can be a drainage, water, cable, each one with its own type. So it's a sewage pipeline, and its profile is round. It's a round pipeline. And name it as pipeline number 1. And go to the layout, so in pipeline number 1, and select it. Sorry, not this one, this one. Now, like we did for the road, now it became a pipeline, and all the coordinates of the manholes were created here. So if I will apply, automatically the system will convert it into a pipeline. So you can see each manhole with the pipeline. For now, the system used default settings. So let me just arrange it a little bit. This coordinates, we call it helping coordinates. So let's just take it and so the point's name and change it to be in the background. I don't need it for now. Okay. So this is line number 1. This is manhole 1.7. This manhole. 1 because it's 1 and serial number of the manholes. But if I scroll to the right, I can also enter the depth, the diameter of the pipeline. So let's say it's a 400 millimeter pipeline. I'm using millimeter, but I can use whichever units I want. And for the pipe, for now, I will use for the manhole, round manholes with 100 centimeter size. Okay, so you see this is the 400, this is 1 meter, as this is 40 cm. You see all the data being projected automatically. So we see the size of the manhole here, and we see that this is a 400 millimeter pipe with length of 40 meter between the manholes. And so on, everything goes here. Okay. Okay. By the way, since I'm designing my pipe, let me take all the road contours and put them somehow in the background. And because a little bit like this. Okay, now it's better. Okay. Fine. Now I want to design the section. If I go to pipeline sections and apply, this is the profile. This is the profile. And each section, sorry, each manhole appears here. The first one that we did, and then the 40, 40, 40 meter, which we did. And all the data is here. But in fact, what I'm supposed to do is showing this one, right? Because the red is the existing and the blue is the design. I want to, so here I will see the design level and the existing level, both of them. And all the data is shown in the layer here. Now I can start designing, but here is the thing. I know that there are some electric pipelines that are about or already exist here on the ground. And I want to take them into consideration when I design my sewage pipeline. So I approached the electricity company and I told them, electric company, give me the location of your electric pipeline. So they gave me a DWG of it. So let me insert it as a DWG. Let's browse for it. Here it is, electricity. Okay, not specify, no scale, uniform, not rotate, and explode it. Okay. Here it is. Okay, you see? There is a layer, new layer, electricity. It sits here. Let's see if it's a 3D. No, it's a 2D. Okay, this is what they have given me. They take it from their GIS or whatever, I don't know. But this is what they have given me, but I see it's crossing my pipeline. So I'm going to the pipelines and I'm going to the crossings. And I tell the software, filter this layer of electricity because I don't know where it intersects. And apply. So the system scanned and it found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of intersection of the electricity with my pipeline number 1. But since it's not in 3D, there is no depth, no invert level. But I know that electricity pipeline usually goes to 1.2 meter depth. So I change the invert level here to depth. And I tell the software, put it in 1.2 meter depth, more or less. Not more or less, exactly. So let's go again to the section. And see what happened now. All the electric pipelines which intersect with 1.2 meter in the ground and the distance from our manholes. Good, excellent. Now I want to start designing. I want to start designing here at a depth of 1.5 meter. And I want to design, here the ground is going at almost 2.2%. I will go, not exactly like the ground, let's go until here, which is this one, manhole number 4, and go with a slope of let's say 1.5%. Let's see. Okay. This is 1.5%. This is 1.5%. And look, the good thing is that I see that I'm not intersecting my electric pipeline. I'm okay. So this is okay. So far, I'm good. For here, I'm going down. This is much stiff. So I'll go down at 3% or 3.5% going down. So from here, I'm going 4%. Okay, see what happened. I went with 4% and see from this point, the software start alerting that I'm exposing the pipe too much. There is actually definition that the system alerts from 40 cm coverage. So here I'm exceeding the 40%, and here actually I'm above the ground. So the system allows me, but alert. Maybe this is what I want to do, but I don't think this is what I want to do here. So I do a drop here. This section, this manhole, 195. This one, I'll do a drop. And let's say a drop of 0.6. Let's see. Okay. Okay, the software, right, there's a drop here, 0.6. And because there's a definition that above 0.6, above 40 cm, it become an external drop. So the system automatically show it as an external drop. I'm still in coverage here. So let's add another one here. Another one here. Six. Here it is. Okay, now I'm okay. But I'm not okay because here I'm almost touching the electric line, and here I'm on the electric pipeline, which is not good. So I can do many things, change the slope, whatever. Let me change this by 6. Additional 20 cm. Okay, here I'm good. Let's do another drop here. 0.5. So. Okay, perfect. So this is my pipeline. I'm happy with it. I finished with my pipeline. Everything is okay. I can enter materials, pop-up level, wall thickness, and other things. But if I'm happy, I can go back to the layout and apply. Okay, give me some few minutes because the system now correlate all the beams together. So let's see what will happen. See the processing below. Okay, progress bar is here.
Hello. Another question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, can we use this application in creating a bridge also, right?
Yeah, but not for the structure of the bridge,
Yeah,
but
for the
only for the
first
geometry of the bridge, yes.
Okay, okay. So the same procedure also.
Yeah, there's a specific module for it. Okay,
Mhm.
I will not be able to demonstrate now, but okay, let me just finish this one and I will answer all this question. So first
Okay.
of all,
Thank you.
these are all the crossings that the system found, you see? Okay, somehow it changed the direction of the crossings, but these are all the points of crossings that we have here, here. Also, all the data from the manuals, I see it here. And you know what? Let's take, you see we see the top level, the invert level of the top level of the enter, top level of the outside. There's a drop here, we know. The height of the manhole, the flow direction at 4% here. There's another crossing here, I see. We are crossing again. And that's it. I have my pipeline ready. Actually, I can even go and do some reports out of it. If I go to reports, sewage, so I can get a few reports. For example, the first one is the manhole reports. Each manhole, the diameter, the height, the invert level, and the coordinates. I can get quantities reports for section number 1. So in section number 1, there's no material because I have not specified, but it's not so important. For this pipeline of 400, 78 meter would have to be buried between 1.26 to 1.75. The same goes for the manhole in the depth, and the external drops also, the numbers, and so on and so forth. For your questions, here there's a bridge and tunnel module, specifically junction module, culvert module, roads, lots development aside the road, a specific model for walls, retaining walls. I think generally this is it. I'm already exceeding my 1 hour, but so let me finish here and just answer questions if you have. So please, the floor is open for you for questions.
Hello. Question, is it possible export result of pipe works in IFC format in BIM?
In IFC, the pipe itself, you mean?
Yes, pipe
No.
and okay.
Not supported for now. Not supported for now, but it's a good point.
Is it planned? Because a lot of European companies asking in IFC.
I understand. Yes, it is part of the work plan. I think, as far as I remember, it's part of the things that will come up either in the next quarter or upper quarter, but I think it's next quarter.
Okay, next question. Tables, it's in English. According European laws, these names has to be in local languages. So is it possible to change the labels in local language also?
Yes, you have support. We already have, when we deploy the system, it's supporting 4 language for now, but it's very easy to adjust it to new language. You don't need to reprogram it. It's in the database, but we can do it for you. It's a very simple thing.
And the last question, is it possible that we put also another communications, for example, external gas pipelines? Because it wasn't in the list, at least designed to make correct section cross points and so on.
Okay. First of all, there are 2 things here that you are asking, and for the answer is yes, but it's more developed than just yes and no. First of all, you can definitely put design pipelines, or actually any infrastructure, crossing infrastructure, and project it and show it either on your cross section, on your road profile, on your road cross section, on your pipelines, whatever. But also there's a built-in module for designing of gas pipelines. We have a specific module for design gas pipeline. I didn't show it, but we have a specific module that allows you to calculate for pipelines the curves. It's a hot curve, cold curve. I don't know if you are a pipeline designer or gas designers, but so there are two answers to it. First of all, you can project whichever infrastructure that you want, and there is a specific module for designing gas pipeline.
Okay, this is what I'm looking for. Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Yes, and there are specific.
Thank you. Engineer Lau from Nigeria.
Once again, there are specific reports for gas pipelines and everything. Yeah,
Hello?
please.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember in a previous version of CiviCAD, it was not able to produce the superelevation on a profile bend. Is it possible for this version to have a superelevation on a profile bend?
Yes. There's no problem. I didn't present it, but the answer is yes. There's no problem to do it in the profile bend.
Yeah. Lawal.
I wanted to send someone to do the setting up.
Hello?
Lawal.
Yes, please.
Yes. When you drop from the sewage pipeline, will it not affect?
I'm not hearing you.
Hello?
Yes, please.
When you make the drops in the sewage, will it not affect the flow of the sewage itself inside the pipes?
Yeah, of course it will. There's a discharge table, and you can look at the
Okay.
discharge table. But of course it will.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so the sewage, there's no problem, but in terms of super elevation here, to do a super elevation in such, it says that it cannot use the automatic super elevation, which I wanted to use. I wanted to show you because it says here the cover too sharp, it's too small for it to work with AASHTO regulation, but I can design my own super elevation, and then if I go to the profile, automatically I can see them and also project them here, super elevation. For now, it will not show anything. Yes, please. Next question.
Hi, my name is Edin. I would like to know which interoperability with BIM softwares can you offer here? Example for ArchiCAD or Revit, InfraWorks, and so on. And is there any 3D performance for this design process that you show us? Thanks.
Okay. I will start from the end. I'm not sure the issue of the 3D performance, but everything that I showed you works as a BIM in 3D. So all of what we did is in BIM and in 3D. I think this was the essence of what we shown. If you're asking if to load the BIM from another software, it's the same. It's related to the same question of exporting and importing IFCs. So we have, but in import we have some. In export we don't have yet. As I said, it's only planned for next quarter. But I can import some kind of BIM using an IFCs. But it depends on the BIM itself. But usually, yes, I can.
Thanks. We are looking for it. And another question: any GIS interoperability so far?
Yeah. Well, there is something that exists for quite a long time. You can load the shapefile inside, and the software will automatically convert it. Now, this exists for quite a long time. It's not a new thing.
I see. Thanks. Any cut and fill for regular lots instead additional to the road cut and fill?
Yes, of course. If I'll go here, let me try to do something very quickly. If I go to design plans here, and you know what? Okay, it will take some time. I'll try to do something quickly without explaining, just to show. But in short, the answer is yes. I'll call it lots dev, and I'll make it current and make it yellow. Anyhow, yes, the answer is yes. Please unmute. Unmute. I don't know who's talking. Okay. So, for example, if I want to develop this plot, I just select it as a plot, as a plan, and now it became a plane. If I zoom, now the software will say doesn't have a elevation, of course, so it's still 2D. So you see now it's a plane, a 3D plane for, it's a beam of a 3D plane with no elevation. So for example, if I want to give it, let's say level it to this, what is the ground, 68.663, let's make it the same one, 68.66, and apply. So now I leveled it, it will show here. 1 second, you see? I leveled it to 68. And I can even show the cut and fill. I think this is what you asked, cut and fill.
Of
So
course.
let's see the cut and fill of this plan, but also give me the top elevation and the height interval. So let's wait. See, so this is a fill of 509 cubic meter, and this is the, you have to fill in 1.59 meter here, 0.93 meter here,
I see.
0.9 here.
I see. Any other performance for this cut and fill boundaries between cut and fill in mean of 3D performance or any hatch performance? For example, cut with yellow and fill with green, for example.
Yes, not hatching, but what I can do, I can create something similar to hatch to show me levels of where the cut comes. I can show 0 lines. I can show plus minus from 0 lines, and I can show something similar to hatch to fill in the fill and the cut in different colors. Yes.
Thanks.
Like if you want to make after this grid more selection, you can, yes?
Again, sorry?
If you want to do to this grid, the rectangle, you want to do a selection, you can do it with the same road you show her?
Yes. If I answered the question, I understood the question correctly. Yes, of course you can.
Okay, thank you very much.
If you talk about, I mean, you have many plans, of course you can.
Any grids for a 10 by 10 or 100 by 100 for this cut and fill layout?
Let's do a grid, it's here. And let's say start from here. Okay, this is only one, so it's very, to show here, I don't know what will happen. Let's do a grid like this size and 5 by 5, because nothing will show in 10 by 10. It's very small.
Yeah.
Let's cut, show. It's now created. Okay, yeah. So these are the volumes in each part of the grid. Cut and fill for each square. And okay, you see, this is the grid. So let's give it some different color. This I will put it in like this. Okay, so you can see the grid itself. You know what? Let's change the size of the text here. Make it grid smaller, 150, and apply. Okay, I think now we can better understand the grid. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, and all the fill we put in green. There's no cut here. Okay, if it was cut, we could put them in red. It was in different.
Thanks, it's great.
Okay, more questions, please.
After the grid and you put the color, you can make some hatch, like a different hatch to cut and the other thing?
It was asked, not exactly hatch, but I can create boundaries of the difference between cut and fill, and then I will have to create a hatch out of it. So I can demarcate and create polygons of it.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
So to not automatically by hatch, but then it's very simple, of course. You can select
Hello?
it. Yes, please.
Is it possible for software to do the road marking, for example, to restrict the passing and non-passing zones?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Is it possible for the software to do the road marking, for example, this section you can do the overtaking, this section you cannot do the overtaking depending on the K values?
Well, I don't want to say yes or no because I heard it somewhere in our discussion, but I'm not sure I know. So if you can ask me, send me an email, then I would try to answer, because I'm not sure I have the answer. I remember there is some kind of capability of it, but I'm not sure what exactly, to what extent. So on that one, you have to ask, and then I will ask the tech team here.
Okay, another question.
Yes.
Sometimes in our designs, we are having a very long road, which may necessitate to cut some pieces of maybe 700 meters or 1 kilometer instead of presenting it as a whole. So I was just asking, is it possible for a software to command it to cut the sections of the profile, maybe in pieces of 700 meters? I'm talking about the output.
Yeah, of course. It's very simple. The answer is yes.
Is it possible to show here, or you can arrange? Maybe
I can arrange a different session, but
Okay.
I need to have a specific, to prepare myself for a specific scenario. Here, I don't know what will happen.
I have a question here.
Yes.
Okay, this is Hilary. So my question is the software able to do computation volume of material? Like, let's say I have an heap of material which I've put somewhere, and then I need to know what is the volume of the material. Is it able to give me that?
Okay, like comparing a pile of something that you feel, or if you cut a hole or something like that?
Yes, like if I have material which I'm piling it somewhere, and I want to know the volume if it is correct based on what the tonnages which I've poured there. So is it able to give me that volume and to be able to do the computation and provide the volume?
Yeah, very easy actually. It's a specific, okay, I didn't choose because in practically even this one, I didn't. For this LFOX, we have a module here, which is exactly to what you discussed, to compare different, either on land development or to compare different kind of surveys, like before and after, and get the piled volumes. So the answer is yes. But again, I will need some data, some practical data. I don't have here some point. I can even try to, no, just PMS. Yeah. But the answer is definitely yes. It's a very common of our clients to do it.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I was just asking for the sake of presentation. Maybe I go to employer and sometimes they see it's best for some of them are politicians. They do not understand that much issues of roads, and they sometimes needed to do for us to do some simulation. Is it possible for this software to do the simulation?
Okay, you mean like 3D simulation? Look,
yes.
We have a module for 3D simulation. It's named Simulate, but I want to be honestly speaking, to take this and use it. In many cases, like flyovers, the results are not so good. So we stopped selling it. The best solution today is just to take the beam, export them outside, and to use the studio or others to do the simulation. So this is why we initially started with the IFC's beam. We have Land XML, but now we are converting to IFC's as well.
So with that saying, for this software, is it possible to do grid separated intersection?
What do you mean? Of course.
Yeah, for example, I have two intersecting roads. One of which is maybe it's at grade. It's separated at grade. The intersection is separated at grade. Is it possible to do such kind of intersections?
Yes, I think the question was asked before. This is why we define it as a bridge or junction. Depends on the elevation. If it's a bridge, it's exactly for that. We know how to differentiate the elevations. If it's a junction, then it will have a junction module.
And is it possible maybe to show how to import or rather import data from the survey tool. If you have collected your coordinates and everything, and then you need now to transfer it to the software. How do you go about it?
Yeah, I don't know, probably you missed the first part of the software, but the first 20 minutes was exactly about that. We started from entering the coordinates manually, and then we read a TXT file of coordinates, and someone will even asked me if we can read directly from a GPS, and I show him that there are several supported tools here: Trimble, NTS, Leica, Topcon, Sokia. But so yes, you can read it from here. This is how we started actually.
Okay, so you can read it from a Topcon device and transfer the information. Okay.
Of course.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, I think I exceeded my time for a long time. If you have questions, you can write to us. You can use, my own is a little bit complicated. It's shlomi@sivandesign.com, but you can also use sales, and it goes directly to our support as well. So
Shlomi.
Definitely I will be able to show you.
Sorry, Shlomi.
Okay,
Hello?
go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, please.
I was just asking, are you going to prepare another session for extensive usage of the software? For example, I've seen that you have not covered all the sections. For example, the section of junctions, bridges. Are you going to prepare another session, or this is just all?
Okay, this is just a demonstration. Actually, there was no training here. Once a while, usually each quarter, we are running an online training. We did one 3 months ago. So probably we will open one very soon, maybe next month. And it's not something as quick and fast like this. We do it usually 4 or 5 sessions, 2 hours each one. So total of 10 hours. And we usually cover 90% of what the software can do. And it comes with a training, not just demonstration. This is just a demonstration. This is not training.
So you have the sessions for training?
Yes, and the next one probably would be in July.
Okay.
But we will publish it.
Okay, thank you so much.
We'll send everyone before it's been happening.
So will you share the recording of this, maybe for review later, for those who joined late?
Yeah, I think we can do it. You know what? We will arrange it. We'll arrange it, upload it to our website, and you can do it.
Okay.